I like to think that my design aesthetic is kind of a combination of Richmond culture and global culture.
So you got your start interning for a denim company, right?
Yep, it's called Raleigh Denim out of Raleigh, North Carolina, but I came down there with no work experience whatsoever. My brother had already learned how to sew, and he was a textile major, so he knew what he was doing. Then I had to learn how to sew just to kind of keep up with things. And then I kind of fell in love with it.
So do you do a lot of the hand sewing yourself?
I do all of the hand sewing myself, actually.
What was the idea behind doing a men's line first as opposed to a women's line?
The women's clothing market seems like it's always saturated with designers, and the men's clothing market, in comparison, looks like there's a lot less. That jacket is made from a French military parachute that I imported through a military overstock website, and hacked it up and turned it into this jacket here.
It sort of has some history attached to it. That's cool. So what's next after this line? What's your next plan for the future?
I'm hoping to be in stores by 2011.
Part of the inspiration behind this exhibition is it's not only intended to be a self-promotional thing, it's also just trying to generate a conversation about modernism and how that fits into this fabric and the culture and the history of the city. I kind of measure a lot of the projects by the age of my son.
Nice. Sort of like how tall is he when you measure on the wall, and that's how you know?
Exactly, yeah, totally.
So the different projects that you work on, it seems like there's a range there from cultural museums but also homes, and could you talk a little bit about that?
Well, we're a part of a collective of designers and artisans who have backgrounds in sculpture, art, furniture, industrial design, and a lot of these guys you can see are extremely talented, and they end up working on a lot of our projects. So some of the architectural metalwork and some of the buildings you see was done by the guy that did the entertainment center behind you, and as well as the woodworkers do a lot of the really beautiful pieces of woodwork and paneling and cabinetry and casework and a lot of our architecture as well.
That's great. So do you feel like you kind of have a unified aesthetic?
Yeah, we're all modernists at heart and champion it, and that's how we kind of want to set ourselves apart. We're not overbearing modernists trying to just promote our agenda. I think that we're thoughtful and considerate modernists. So I think we do a great job of listening to clients and really trying to get inside their heads and understand what they want, what they need. And then we try to exceed their expectations in a modern vocabulary.
When you say modernist, is that sort of reminiscent of 20s, 30s, like high modernism, or is it a new interpretation of modernism?
I would say it's a new interpretation, at least for me. It's informed by the rich history and diversity in Richmond.
So you do mostly, I notice it seems like kind of industrial representations on industrial materials.
The reason I used to do what you do, and someone asked me to do a story on the Appomattox River and the James River where they both meet, and that's in Hopewell, Virginia, and it's a really heavy industrial area. The thing that caught my eye out of all this tape that I was shooting were these factories. I mean, to me, they were just stunning. In a creative sense, I was just looking at them and I was blown away by them.
How did you come across, it's a warehouse in Petersburg, right?
Right, I played in a few bands through the years, and one of them was called Mean Flower, and Mean Flower was looking for a place to practice. We thought we'd go by a warehouse in Petersburg, and these sheets were on the floor in that warehouse.
So is that how it happened? Did you kind of just look at the sheets and something triggered?
Well, we were trying to sell the sheets for scrap, and I swear, they were worth nothing. I mean, you're talking about, let's see, each sheet weighs 200 pounds, and there was 50 of them. So let's do the math. Are you doing the math? And we were getting nothing for them, and I just put them to the side. And one day, I think it was about a year or something later, I was working on a cast iron tub. I was pulling the rust off the tub with acid. That's where all this really started. That was, again, probably 10 years ago, maybe 8 years ago, 9 years ago.
Orange like an apricot, orange like a peach, peach like a peach. So I hit the streets with the mean beat. I got to make the money so I can eat side. You know I gotta trust funds, sitting on a gram at the tip of my tongue. 5-star, 6-figure vacation, chilling on a beach with a cute little Asian.